Good evening. Welcome to the Level 3 Extended Diploma course here at Long Road Sixth Form College. Over the next 20 to 30 minutes, we hope to talk you through the course programme. My name is Karen Little and I'm course team leader for the Level 3 Extended Diploma in Art course. Welcome from all the Applied Art team. There are 5 specialist tutors here at Long Road. The entry requirements for the Level 3 course are at least 5 GCSE Grade 4s in a range of subjects, including English and Art GCSE. If you have taken the Level 2 Art Diploma course, we would require you to have a merit grade or above. The Extended Diploma in Art course is the equivalent to 3 A-levels. It is therefore a full-time programme at Long Road Sixth Form College. If you enjoy and relish all things creative and artistic, then this is certainly and definitely the course for you. It leads you directly onto a university degree course, apprenticeship or employment. The course consists of 13 units which are delivered across the 2-year programme. These units are assessed both internally by your specialist tutors and externally by the exam board. The course is also enriched with visiting speakers, trips, live briefs and studio visits. And we do hope to resume these once we feel safe it is for our students. If you choose to take this subject, what is really special about it is that you are in the same group for 2 years. This becomes a really supportive, family-friendly group, which students often then go on to share university placements and accommodation together. On this slide here, you can see several images of our spacious art studios. Within these photographs, you can see the end of Year 2 celebration exhibition. Students exhibit their selected favourite work along with their selected specialist sketchbooks. This event is very popular and is celebrated with their families, their friends and their tutors. Alongside these studios, we also have a fully equipped Mac suite with 14 Apple Mac computers and scanners, as well as a traditional darkroom for photography. In Year 1 of the course, you will explore units in Fine Art Materials, Techniques and Processes. That includes painting, printmaking, 3-dimensional studies, photography and digital work. This will be followed on by a unit in graphic illustration using both Illustrator and Photoshop, as well as your traditional skills. We deliver a unit in photography, which is both using the traditional darkroom and including experimental photography as well as digital. The creative process is the unit that finishes Year 1, where students produce a range of outcomes, including fashion garments, games design, digital photography, large-scale paintings. And the last 2 units, the visual recording and the critical and contextual studies, are moderated by the exam board. Unit 1, visual recording, is a little bit like your GCSE exam delivery, where you are responding and exploring a range of different materials and techniques, resulting in a final piece. Critical and contextual studies is a really important aspect of the course, and it's where students explore artists and designers and look at the work of influential people that will be influence the direction of the work that they are going in. During the Year 2 programme, you specialise in units such as printmaking, where you're looking at lino cutting, collagraphs, monoprinting. This is led through into a surface pattern, which is very popular for those students interested in interior design, where students both produce digital pattern making as well as printmaking patterns. An important unit in Year 2 is called Developing an Art and Design Portfolio. This is excellent for our students' progression, where students look and gather their portfolio and their digital work in an order and practice talking through this. Contemporary fine art, again, encompasses painting, printmaking and 3-dimensional work, and materials, techniques and processes is everything that you could think of. So collage, paint, print. It's a really fun and exciting unit. The last 2 on this slide, developing and realising creative intentions and working to a client brief, are both set by the exam board, and students respond and design and produce an outcome, explaining their decisions and their research along the way. This is put together in a PowerPoint presentation and sent off for the exam board to mark and moderate. The following slides I'm going to show you are some fantastic work that our students have produced throughout the two-year programme, giving you an idea of some of the unit outcomes. So on this slide here, you can see both digital photographs taken from London, areas like Borough Market and Tate Modern, and on the left-hand side you can see some more traditional and experimental photography outcomes using techniques such as photograms. Photography is an exciting and important unit within the course delivery. On this slide here, you can see a group photography piece where students have been given different coloured torches, often from bicycle lights, and they're working and using the photography studio, and the camera is set on a long exposure, and this just illustrates their movement around the studio. Printmaking is an important aspect of the course, and we're very fortunate here at Long Road that students get the opportunity to apply and put their name forward for a 3-day bursary at Kerwin Print Studio in Chilford Hall. Alongside that opportunity, students get to work with 2 fantastic printing presses, producing not only lino cuts, but using and working with collagraphs, etchings and monoprinting. You can see on this slide here that a student chose to work from a research trip they went on to New York City. Again, on this slide here, you can see some fantastic printmaking outcomes. The image on the right was completed after we took the first year group to London, and we spent some time drawing and photographing St Paul's Cathedral, and then having a great walk across Millennium Bridge over to Tate Modern. Obviously, we try and do as many research trips as possible to help and support the students in their ideas and planning for their units. Painting is an important and popular aspect of the course. On the right-hand side, you can see a more traditional oil painting. The image on the left-hand side was produced by one of our first-year students, where she was painting using acrylic paints on several layers of perspex. She then used the top perspex layer and used the laser cutter machine to cut away and add another level of added interest to her work. On this slide here, you can see a more traditional and stunningly fantastic painting by one of our second year students, and that was completed using oil paints. Life drawing is a really important aspect of the course, and it's delivered at the end of year 1 and into the early stages of year 2. This outcome was completed by a first year student who was using permanent pens and drawing on acetate, and also using the free machine embroidery foot to use the free stitch to create these outcomes. You can see the images here have been completed from observational studies that range between the model posing for 5 seconds to 20 seconds to 2 minutes, and then possibly even to 20 minutes. Mixed media is an important aspect of the course. This unusual second year piece here was worked on a piece of leather where the student incorporated poetry as well as working from an observation from a family member, and she actually kind of scratched and worked into the leather surface. She also then made and created the unusual frame in which she presented the work in. This large-scale piece is taken from direct observational drawing. Drawing from observation is fully encouraged throughout the course, as it's really important and integral to all the unit assessments. This is a large-scale piece worked in mixed media using candle wax and coffee wash and Quink ink and Milton fluid. Graphic design is a popular aspect of the course. This first year student here designed their own logo for their Cambridge Honey company, which they then took through into branding, including wrapping paper, posters and postcards. And then on the right hand side, they had their image printed onto wrapping paper, and they were really delighted with the outcome. Illustration is included within the Level 3 Extended Diploma course. Here on the right-hand side, you can see that the students using a more traditional take on illustration, working with a biro pen on cartridge paper. And on the left-hand side, you can see a more inventive digital approach to illustration. Often our students go on to study BA Honours Illustration course after they leave us here. Games design is becoming increasingly popular, and some Level 3 Extended Diploma students have chosen to design their own games design characters. This student here used the life drawing sessions to support her ideas and her planning for her own games design character. And on this slide here, you can see her fantastic character which she created, which she then named Corvina. This second year student here used some of the monoprinting techniques, and then he scanned them in and then digitally manipulated them to create his own games design. And both the previous two students have gone on to a BA Honours Games Design degree course at university. Three-dimensional studies is fantastically provided and sourced here. You can see this student who is now at Central St Martin's in London. He crafted and produced these two lovely basket making outcomes, and then worked with wood to create and carve the wooden pipes on the right hand side. Absolutely beautiful work. This student here, who's now studying ceramics in London, she chose to look and focus on the brain surfaces and chose to work in clay on these 6 small-scale tile relief patterns from her research into the surface of the brain. Fashion and textiles is increasingly popular. Both students can create physical outcomes, as you can see in this slide here, as well as using their digital skills and their digital technology to create different pattern work to then place onto garments. This slide here, the neck piece, the blue neck piece on the left, this student used the soldering iron and different heat guns and techniques to work into. She then actually went on to Sheffield to study a degree in jewellery making. I'm sure you can see how the work that she completed in year 2 influenced her decision making after she left Long Road. The image on the right hand side is a corset that a student made with attaching skirt using a variety of embellishment tools and free machine foot, as well as lots of hand sewn beadwork. This unusual garment, which featured as part of the students' end of course exhibition, was created using both paper and a material called Tyvek. You can see here that she took and supported the garment by incorporating some of her own photographs and observational drawings. This slide here shows the external unit, Unit 1, visual recording, which is you exploring the theme set by the exam board. Students are encouraged to take their own photographs, to look at the work of other artists and designers. On both the slides here, you can see mixed media work, photography work, printmaking work, and some experimental pen and ink and biro work. These are both A3 in size, and they are photographed along with the final piece and sent off for the exam board to mark. Again, on this slide here, you can see another set of Unit 1 outcomes, slightly more traditional, where the student has taken a series of rose photographs which are decaying and then produced some beautifully exquisite observational paintings from them. Sketchbooks are a really important aspect of the course, and we absolutely love them here at Long Road. By the end of the programme, you should have about approximately 10 fantastically completed and produced sketchbooks. They should contain, and they do contain, students' research, their ideas, any trips and visits we've been on, and any samples of different techniques, materials and processes that they have explored. Sketchbooks come in all shapes and sizes. You can see on this slide here on the top right hand side, the students actually used an old reading book that they had and deconstructed it and worked into it. And the other 2 slides were from a student who really loved using collage and working on different corrugated papers with coffee wash, and you can see on the bottom right hand corner she's added and used wire to loop her samples and her explanations together. They are always an absolute joy and privilege to look through. So on the Level 3 Extended Diploma in Art course, the exam board is Edexcel Pearson. As you can see on this slide here, that 70% is coursework, so that is you completing the units, the 9 units with your tutors here in Long Road, and 30% is the externally set tasks. So it is the same unit work, however the exam board set the theme rather than us here at Long Road. And on the externally set tasks, the summative assessment is completed by the exam board. If you like continual pockets of assessment rather than one whole heavy weighted assessment at the end of year 2, then certainly the extended diploma in course could be for you. So here at Long Road, you can study the extended diploma course as a programme in itself. It is the equivalent to 3 A-levels. So there is no need and there's no opportunity to study it alongside possibly another diploma or an A-level course. It is a full package in itself. However, if you do need to do a maths retake, you can do that alongside the Level 3 Extended Diploma course. So we would love to be busy here on the diploma course at Long Road, and we very much hope that when things are safe, we can return to doing some of the fantastic things that we're used to doing. On this slide here, you can see a list of the places that we've been to visit recently, or certainly before lockdown, and that's including Alexandra Palace for the Knitting and Stitching Show, the Victoria Albert Museum, both Tate Modern and Tate Britain, along with the National Portrait Gallery. We're always found in and around Cambridge at the different variety of museums that we have on our doorstep. Last year we went to Paris, which was fantastic. We were often going to London, to Chinatown and to Borough Market, along with the Courtauld Institute. We pop over to Saffron Walden to the Fry Gallery, and we also have the Kerwin Print Studio bursary, which I mentioned earlier. We have interaction and seminars with practicing artists, including artists such as Paul Jensen's and Charlotte Cornish, which the students really love seeing working studios. On this slide here, I thought it would be nice for you to see some of our students out and about. So in the top left-hand corner, the students are working from direct observation in the Courtauld Institute. Along the top right, that was us at the Botanical Gardens and the Zoology Museum here in Cambridge. And then we were fortunate enough to go to the Christian Dior exhibition at the Victoria and Albert Museum. On this slide here, my favourite museum, the Musée d'Orsay in Paris, where students relished not only a fantastic arena to explore and to take photographs, but also to look at the wonderful display of paintings and sculptures that they have got there. And on the right-hand side, you can just see some of the beautiful, gorgeous garments from the Christian Dior exhibition. On this slide here, we welcome the Raptor Foundation once a year at Long Road Sixth Form College, and they come in for a drawing workshop and bring about 6 to 7 different birds with them. This is not only very popular with the staff, but also the students. The feedback from progression universities and interviews has been really popular. It's not an easy thing to do, to draw from direct observation from a moving animal that's sat in front of you in the art studio, but it's really popular. And on the next slide, you should be able to see here is an outcome for which was completed in approximately 20 minutes from the drawing workshop. This student here is talking through her portfolio as part of the Unit 5, developing a portfolio. This is excellent practice for future progression into employment, apprenticeships and university. You can see the student showing her final work, which has been mounted up beautifully, as well as talking through her sketchbook and explaining her ideas to her peers. Again, on this slide here, you can see some of her different sketchbooks and some of her other work. On this slide here, there's 3 students who left us from the course in July. We have Gerard, who gained distinction star, distinction star, distinction, which is the equivalent to A star, A star, A, who went on to study games art at Norwich. We've got Kez, who went on to study BA Fine Art at Oxford, gaining distinction star, distinction. And then we've got Chloe, who went on to study costume design at Birmingham City University. So assessment-wise, the grades vary from distinction star, which is equivalent to A star, to distinction, which is like a grade A, to merit, down to pass. Last year, we had 100% pass rate on the course, with 73% gaining distinction or above, which we were absolutely delighted with. So after successful completion of the extended diploma course, students have progressed on to degree courses in the following: games design, photography, printmaking, graphic design, illustration, interior design, architecture, and fashion and textiles. There is a Applied Art Wix site if you would like to take those details down or take a screenshot or photograph, which has additional imagery of our exhibitions and some of the work that we've got, as well as the specialist pathways. We're very proud here at Long Road that our students go on to access courses at Central St Martin's, Falmouth, Nottingham Trent, ARU, Edinburgh, and places like Norwich University of the Arts. We always have felt very proud of our excellent progression routes. So we've got some open days and welcome days coming up. There's June 2021, where if you do apply to study with us, and we very much hope you do, you can come and visit. And we've got open evenings, which are obviously open for both yourselves and also Year 10s in June 2021, when it would give you an opportunity to visit our campus before joining us as a student in September 2021. And we very much do hope that you take those opportunities to come in on site. So the application deadline, and a note to make in your diaries, is the 12th of January. If you do have any further inquiries about your application, there are 2 email addresses at the bottom of the screen here. We'd like to very much thank you for your time and for tuning in and listening to us this evening, and we hope that you have found that informative and helpful, and we do hope to see you again. Please do email if you have any questions to openevening@longroad.ac.uk. And can I thank you very much again for your time and for listening. Thank you and good night.